Over to Haran, make presenter, click OK. Alrighty, so once again, welcome everyone. Gil here. You should see Lauren coming on here in a second. Much better internet connection here so far. I opened the session a little bit earlier. Lauren, go ahead and try to turn on your webcam. Let's see if it'll work much better. And sweet, nice, looking lovely as always. So that's working here pretty good. Welcome. If you guys are interested in building out or generating a part-time or a full-time income online, you are in the right place. If you're looking to monetize or make money blogging, whatever full-time or part-time job or business you are in, simply 30-45 minutes a day documenting what you've done for that day can be an income producing activity for you. And I have been challenged, can we make more money online than we do in real estate? And I have been seriously giving that some thought to try to actually go ahead and do that. I mean, I'm part-time on my internet marketing and online affiliate stuff, but hey, you know, I'd be willing to take a stab at it. So we should be deciding in about a week, 2 weeks, how we're going to kind of merge those concepts. Screen's coming out good. We can hear you loud and clear as well. Lauren, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Well, I'm very pleased to get into the last segments of our 5 principles for achieving success in your business. So today we're all about modeling success, making sure that you have the right mentors. And just to kind of catch you guys up to speed, the 5 success principles I've been going over, the first one is having a very clear, defined goal. And you need to become crystal clear in whatever that objective is. You know, like they say, if you're not sure where you're going, you're going to end up nowhere. So making sure, and along with that, we did a great segment on not just setting goals, but setting intentions. And that the intentions are actually the key into helping you achieve that goal. Once you actually have set the goal, that's all fine and dandy. But if you don't have a strong belief that you can even achieve the goal, you're going to get no results. So making sure you get those beliefs, how to identify your beliefs, how to even, you know, work on changing those beliefs if you need to, and getting those belief levels up. So if it's something that you really want, there's different techniques and strategies we have in order to increase your belief level. And when your belief goes up and you have that vision, that's where you're going to start to see results. Now, both of those are extremely important. However, if you're surrounding yourself with negative people, or, you know, I covered a lot yesterday on the negative influences that don't look so obvious, that funny little gang picture. Yes, that's what we have in our head is, oh, you know, we know to stay away from those. That's a bad influence. However, the problem is it can be our best friends, our relatives, the people that we surround ourselves with the most can actually be those negative influences, and you're not aware of it. And, you know, certain mentalities, like I covered yesterday on the, you know, oh, you know, this thing didn't work out really well, and instead of pointing the finger, finding, you know, somebody that's going to say, oh, well, is there any way that you could have prevented that, or how can we move forward? And that constructive aspect of having that good environment, rather than just somebody that's enabling and allowing you to play the blame game. So making sure that you're putting yourself in an environment that's conducive for success is key here. So today we're going to be covering modeling after your mentors, and making sure, one, that you find mentors, and also carefully selecting exactly who you choose for those mentors and surrounding yourself with them. And then the final aspect is putting it all together with a bigger picture. Yes, we want success in our business, you know, monetarily, that's fantastic. However, making sure that with that bigger picture comes, there's so much of more, that's the money, that's great, but what is it that you want the money for? What are those feelings, and what is your purpose behind, you know, making all this success in your business, and touching base on those. So basically the power of a mentor, and the idea here is it's somebody that's already been there, and they're going to help you get the results that you are looking for out of your business. And the key thing here is, for the most part, mentors, they're not going to be doing it for you. That would more just be like, oh, hiring a service to get where you need to go. No, a mentor, you're going to be doing it all yourself, but getting their advice. And the idea, I really like this image. So, you know, they're really helping you to achieve that, but you're walking yourself up there because you're learning it. And it comes back to that, are you going to give somebody fish or teach them, how to fish? So, keeping that in mind, and that's definitely the idea with a mentor, is to find somebody that you are seeing that's already successful, putting that criteria out there, and, taking their advice, and their advice is what boosts you up. So with this is, who do you listen to? And some of the mentors that I'm, actively listening to and going through their trainings and stuff emphasize this a whole bunch, and being really aware of the influence. And that ties back into yesterday when we were talking about environment, but also to keep aware with mentors. We look up to people.
Hey there, my friend.
That can.
My name is Vic Streisers. Welcome to day number 1. Hey, let me tell you something. I don't know about you.
Okay, sorry. Anywho, aware of who you listen to with all of that stuff, but also keeping in mind here that, a lot of the guru type people
But
that we
I'm
see,
fired up. I'm fired up about
they're
this
gonna
journey.
be telling you
Man, we're going to be,
excellent
welcome
things
to
that
day
are
number 1. This is the 30 days to
they might have
10K
made their
program,
money,
30 days
10,
to
15
changing
years
your
ago,
life,
and they're just
my
riding
friend.
on
And
those
that's what's
coattails.
really,
Yes,
really...
they did success and they had that, but now they're being, they're just kind of riding off of that. So you want to be making sure that you're listening to people that are actively doing what it is that you're trying to accomplish right now. You don't want those, retired guru type people, and that's who you're listening to, especially when you're talking about listening to strategies versus principles. This whole session is all principles. This is awesome. It's fundamental. If you watch it 5 years from now, you're going to get fantastic value and explode your business. If you listen to it, 20 years ago, same information, it would have exploded your business. Those are principles. Strategies, on the other hand, actual techniques and things like that, those change rapidly all the time. So if you're listening to your mentors that are talking strategies, you need to be very careful that it's people that are actively doing those strategies and it's what's working today. If you're not listening to the right mentors, they can have, successful results doing those strategies, but they did them 5 years ago and got great results. I started a business 5 years ago. The way that we marketed worked fantastically. Does it work the same now? No. So if I became a guru and started talking about how I built up my business and I did it all via Google AdWords, that's great. Are you going to be able to have that success? Probably not. So that's where you have to be very, very, very alert and aware and selective about who you listen to, and only listen to the people who have what you want, and on the technique side of things, that are doing what it is that they're teaching you to do. So choosing that. So that kind of gets down into what I've already touched on is, what are they teaching versus what they're doing. So be aware, if you're listening to somebody that's teaching business philosophies, but they don't own a business, kind of conflicting. That's kind of a lot of the issues that I personally think when talking about traditional higher education. You're teaching me business skills and all of that, that's fine. If it's principles, if it's foundations, it's important. But if you're trying to teach me techniques, not so much. If you're not actively doing them, are they selective about what the information is that they're teaching and where they're getting it from? So being very, very aware of that. And, they talk a lot about people that, like if you're talking about money making and success seminars, oh golly, those ones can be quite funny. And making sure that in that regards, okay, there's so many people, they teach you how to make money, how to be successful. And if you have a conversation with them, oh yeah, you have money, you have success, they look great, they drive the fancy cars and all of that. But when you ask them, oh, how did you make your money? Oh, because I teach these seminars. Oh, they're teaching theories and they're getting paid off of theories, but they're not applying, or if the principles that they're teaching, well, how come they're not making money with those? So that's something you have to be very careful with the mentors, and we fall in. It's not too hard to establish yourself as a mentor or credibility figure in an industry. If you produce the right content, if you market correctly and all of that stuff. But just because somebody has those authorities, they might have thousands and thousands of figures or followers and things like that, but it doesn't mean that their information is going to specifically help you in your business. So let's say you did find somebody and you found somebody, and I have mentors, that I work with, and I know what their business is, and I'm okay, awesome. Now, here's the other thing with that is to look not, you want to be able to look at what they're teaching, but also look at what they're doing. What are they doing in their business? And getting close to them by buying their products, but also engaging in that, making sure whoever your mentor is that they know things like that. And you can also be modeling from the inside of their business or their funnel. When we're talking about the internet marketing form of things, that's really easy to start to learn how they run their business. All you do is literally opt into their email list. You're going to be getting the content and the things that they put out. So if you like the information, you feel like they're very solid, because although they're teaching information, they're applying it in a business of theirs as well, then you can start to model those, because you know that whatever it is that they're teaching, they're actually getting the results from. So from that standpoint, the emails that they come out, yes, the information's good, but also look, what's the headline or the subject line that they're sending you, things like that. So those are the ways that you can also, here you're not maybe even working with them, on a direct one-on-one, but just being in their sphere of influence, you can start to really look at your mentors and start to model after them and look at that. Oh, well, how did they write that email? How did they do this? Oh, let's look at their website. How is their website designed? And really starting to look at what your mentors have created, because obviously what they've created, is successful. So modeling after everything, not just what they're saying, but modeling after what their businesses look like as well, is key to, when you're looking at those mentors. And then, so when you want to be modeling this, you want to look at all of these different success qualities and making sure you get a sense of those. So obviously you want to find somebody, if you're working on your leadership skills, that's something that you want to look at. What type of a leader are the mentors that you're looking at? Are they a leader that's very, rah, and, motivational type leaders? And you can also have different mentors based on, these different ideas. So, Tony Robbins is a great example of, a very inspirational type of a leadership. Yes, he's a very giant public figure in that regard. So maybe he wouldn't be one that you'd want to model specifically in your business. You'd have to figure out and take qualities, but man, that's a leadership mentor that I would want to model after. Look at the way he talks and the way that he presents himself, and that's how you can look at modeling those behaviors. Teaching styles, some people, they like to teach, in a very big, broad setting. Other ones like to work more one-on-one. There's also more of, some people really like to handhold when they're teaching. Other teachers don't do any of that. They're like, here's the information, it's good, Maybe they're the type of teachers that spell out steps 1 through 10 for you, and you have to go follow them, and they're not going to give you any more assistance. It's kind of a sink or swim attitude. Those can work well. So just being aware of what the teaching style is with each mentor can help you make sure that you select one that you jive with. For me, we've already talked as far as, learning styles and things. I need to see the overall picture. I don't need the details, but just the overall direction of where I'm heading, and then I can get to work. But if I don't have that, I personally have a lot of frustration and a hard time doing that. So I need to make sure that I find a mentor whose teaching style reflects my learning style, and that's very big in there. Now, work ethic, same thing. If you want, modeling, and this is where I become very selective in looking with my mentors, is whose work ethics do I like the best? If you're talking real estate investors, there's awesome real estate investors, and they have great success, and they're doing all the aspects of their business. There's other real estate investors who create a system of business, so they've created a real estate investing business, and they don't even work in it. I remember my very first Rich Dad seminar that I went to, and I was kind of like, okay, real estate, yeah, I get it, but I don't personally want to, be the investor doing everything, because I just came out of a, self-employed aspect. So when I went to this workshop, and there was this real estate investor who said, yes, I love it. He obviously had great knowledge, and he's, done deals, he's all of that aspect. But when they said, and he referred to the fact that he has a team and he does all of that, and somebody asked him the question, well, when's the last time you personally went out to do a negotiation? He's like, probably about 1.5 years ago. And the whole, everyone there was just like, because one, you're taking like employee type people and throwing them in these seminars. But in this regard, still, the idea for a lot of people, for me, that is exactly why I signed up, because I'm like, you know what? That's the mentor type thing that I want, is somebody who can use all of these things and put it together as a business instead of doing self-employed. I liked his work ethics. He was working smarter, not harder. So there's just things on that. Now there's other mentors that are going to be doing everything themselves, and that's what clicks with you. You would go crazy trying to build a system or not having to do it yourself. So make sure you also find a mentor whose work ethics, if somebody works 24/7 in their business, they're going to teach you and you're going to model after that. So you're going to work 24/7 in your business. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just, is that what you want to do? So make sure you're modeling after somebody who has the work ethics that you do. Perseverance, that one, I mean, pretty much anyone who's successful is already going to be, have a good perseverance, but just make sure that you also are looking for a mentor that's been established. A new mentor, like I said, anybody, if they're smart, they know how to market, they can get, tons and tons of followers. But, if you're just finding this, overnight type of success or somebody with followers, make sure that they have that track record. And that's where you also want to say, well, do they already have existing businesses and now they're just getting known? Or they're just somebody who's really good at selling theories. So make sure that you're aware of what they're doing. And same thing with their business structure. Make sure that you're modeling somebody that has a business structure that you like set up. I'm definitely one that emphasizes the whole business freedom aspect. So I want to look for, finding mentors that are following that business freedom type of a structure than more of a self-employed, or making sure that, you're a part of it and the business, it runs, but you have to keep your fingers in it versus being hands off. So just things to keep in mind with that. And then this idea, can you go from zero to expert? You sure can. Everybody had to start somewhere. Nobody is born being an expert. Even, Tony Robbins and, Richard Branson and all those awesome people. Everyone had to start somewhere, and keep that in mind. And you can also look at, where your mentor started off from. Are they, and make sure that you get somebody that you can relate to. I definitely relate to the people that, they were not born with the silver spoon type of thing and they created a business. Other people, yeah, if you come from money and you're looking to start a business, that's awesome. Then, maybe find a mentor that clicks more with you on that regard. Because for me, if I found a mentor who came from a ton of money and could go out there and invest in the business and could afford all these different things, then for my mentality, working through the belief system, but then, oh, you know what, then it's more starts to build a comparison. And instead of being a mentor that I'm easily following, I'm like, oh, maybe that couldn't work for me because, when he got started, he had, $100,000 to go play around with. And I don't have anywhere near that money. And then you start to build comparisons to your mentor, and you don't want to fall into that trap because that, that hurts you, not them. It hurts you. So make sure you also click with an expert that, zero to expert, but look and see, how did they get started and see if that connects with you. And then encouragement. This is a great part about finding a mentor. And this is more on finding a one-on-one, not just following a leader like I referenced, like Tony Robbins. He's awesome, but you're not going to be getting, one-on-one type of, encouragement from him. I suppose you can if you spend a boatload. But you want to find somebody, lots of mentors. I have lots of mentors. So find, local ones as well, people that you can have a conversation with, sit down with at dinner once in a while, kind of an idea. And you want to find a mentor that, helps you believe in yourself and getting around people who believe in you too. So, a lot of times, a mentor might not have just, you might not be the only mentee, however you want to say that, but, a bunch of different people that are learning, and you're getting around people and you guys all believe that. Coaching programs that I am, that's an awesome way because you are working with somebody that believes in you, and at the same time, you're also in a small group of people that not only believe in themselves, but they're also going to be believing in you because you're all starting somewhere, you're all in coaching together, and you all want to get that mentality of a group mentality of success rather than a group of competition. So that's where like groups and coaching, whether, it's a formal coaching program or you just find a mentor and there's a bunch of you, very important with that. And then just, as much as we don't like to accept that outside influence definitely is a factor with us, when a mentor tells you that you're worth more, you're going to value yourself more. Why? I don't know. It sucks. It's just true. But when you hear that, and hey, I believe in you, you can do it, it also helps you as well. And then becoming a leader. So by finding a mentor, you are also going to be setting yourself up. And this is all coming back to that personal development, which is definitely, it's a favorite of mine and definitely a theme that I'm going through at the moment, in case you guys couldn't tell. But, leading by example. And the cool thing here is that everybody eventually is going to start to become, a leader if you're doing stuff, and whether you want to choose to, mentor other people is your choice. But if you're having success, people, they do notice it. And so you want to make sure that you're leading by example. And, if you're starting to walk that way, other people, they're going to watch you. And we've talked about that before when we emphasize consistency on different things. But, if you're having success and you're walking in a certain direction, other people are going to notice and eventually start to follow you. And, okay, I like that direction she's going in. And, eventually you will just kind of become a leader by default. I know, Gil, I was having a conversation with somebody, and then your name came up, and they're like, yeah, Gil, he's this almost guru. And you're like, no, I'm not a guru. But it's, as you're having success, you're sharing your success, it just, people naturally do start to follow, don't they?
I mean, yeah, definitely, it happens. And I mean, like, whenever I do hear that, it's like, not until I have the big gray beard and the long white hair, I think I can, the guru tag is gonna.
Oh my god, I totally just pictured that too.
Right. Looking like a Gandalf or a Santa Claus character. I don't know if it would work for me, though.
I don't know, you can kind of, like, play and twirl your beard and
right.
So, but it's true, it's starting to, once you're successful, and like I said, we definitely, having these webinars, we're a little more exposed on that regard as far as, people are seeing what we're up to. But regardless, if it can even be family members noticing, oh, well, you keep buying nicer cars and nicer stuff, and, they just kind of notice, and gradually people are, they're either going to be jealous, which is, unconstructive on their regards, or they're going to start to be kind of curious and want to hear a little bit more, and, gradually people do start to follow. If, if you're walking by yourself, you're eventually going to start leading people. And then the cool thing here is, not only are you transforming yourself, but you can model other leaders, and then eventually you're going to actually have other leaders come up, that are following you, and they're helping other people, and it's just everybody's walking in the same direction, getting fantastic results, and that's an excellent place to be at. And here's the idea with Recipe for Success. So if somebody wants to create a really awesome, say, chocolate chip cookie, and you can give them the recipe, and here's where it comes down to mentors and things like that. You can give them a recipe, and let's say it's a gourmet recipe for a chocolate chip cookie. You're just getting started. For me, I have no experience with gourmet. I don't know how to do any of that. But, okay, my mentor gives me this recipe for a gourmet chocolate chip cookie. I'm going to follow it as best as I can, but I'm going to use the skill levels that I have. And this is the thing that it comes down to, and a great example of taking action. I could just look at the recipe, get overwhelmed because it talks about, I don't know, these funky cooking terms, and I have to grate things, and I don't know how to all those weird cooking things, but you get where I'm going. So I don't know these different techniques that are in the recipe. So I can just sit there and kind of muddle through it, maybe do a little bit of research on the internet so at least I know what the term is and kind of a walkthrough. Then what's the action? Well, I have to go to the store and I'll actually buy it, and I'm kind of mentally preparing, and okay. But here's the thing. I can follow their recipe. It's a gourmet recipe. I'll do it. Chances are I'll get a decent chocolate chip cookie. Can I really mess it up and make something completely disgusting? Yeah, I could. But chances are, even if I don't know a specific, like, complicated, weird technique, or I've never done that technique before, but I'm trying to make this cookie, I don't think I'm going to overly mess it up. I'll probably get an edible product. Now, will it be as good as the person I got the recipe from? No. And is that okay? Yes, it is. Your mentor, they don't expect you to get it right the first time. Whoever whoever sets out and just gets something right instantly. So if you just get in there and you start baking, you're going to have a result. And guess what? Then your mentor will try that cookie and say, wow, you did a really good job. Now kind of walk me through the steps, or what part did you have trouble with? You see, the people that never take action are not going to be able to answer those questions. And, well, what parts did you have trouble with, And then they can see the techniques. But if you've never actually, made the recipe and got your hands dirty with it, they can't give you advice. And yes, that, we've emphasized that, a lot on these webinars and just getting out there and taking advice. But the recipe part, exactly, that's the steps that a mentor can give you. You need to go take action and make it messy, and then that's where the mentor can come in and now make a little bit of adjustments, and you're going to get better and better. And guess what? If you start making that recipe every day or every week, you're going to get better and better and better at that recipe. You're doing the same thing over and over again, and you will be getting there. It might take you a long time to be able to, match the exact results of the same recipe, but to, model it and get it correctly, and the temperature and consistency and all that stuff that the mentors are getting. But you will get there if you never give up. And chances are, as you're making it, you might even, that's where you can add your own flavor. You might decide to add just a tinge bit extra vanilla after, you've been able to create what they create. And suddenly you have this brand new thing, and eventually you have your own recipe. And that's the idea. But if you've never gone through and made the basic recipes, gone through it, had a mentor to technique it, that's where you get the stage that you add your own creativity and then become your own leaders, when you can, tweak it and create your own recipe. That's awesome to add it. But you need to be able to follow the basic recipes people are telling you, give a little advice and feedback, and then you can move forward and have, keep going with all of that. And then I like that picture. But, basically with developing a successful mindset, so kind of putting with all of that together. You found the mentor, you can model it really awesome. So keep all this stuff in mind. You need to believe in yourself. You focus on these income-producing activities. We definitely talked about that and breaking it really down, especially if you guys caught the goals versus intentions ones. I specifically broke it down on what my goals are, and really thinking, and it came down to, okay, what can I do to get my phone to ring 2 times in every hour? That's a much more manageable type of goal when I broke it all the way down and focused on that hourly aspect, but it also helped me focus on what are my income producing activities. As my focus is, how can I get the phone to ring, 2 times in 1 hour? That's a much more achievable goal, but it also gives me a really good list of, activities that I can do to make sure that my phone's going to ring 2 times in 1 hour. And then not getting stuck on the tidbits and all of that stuff, and really just keeping your end goals in mind. And this is where a mentor can help you, because they can help, accountability. If you don't know a good mentor, that's where coaching can come in. I work with people. I wouldn't call myself, like this guru type person at all, or even, I don't know about a mentor, but being able to just offer advice and just keep you going. And, like in coaching and things like that, it's really, okay, can we help you focus? Here's how we can move forward, things like this, and just surrounding yourself and making sure that you found an excellent, kind of fostering system. I mean, the idea, especially like in this, I made, I'm a self-made millionaire. Well, really? Did you do it all by yourself? Or did you model after successful people and getting that? And, a lot of the idea is that you're this solo entrepreneur, and, getting rid of that. Find the mentors, model success. Why are you trying to, completely reinvent a wheel, or, literally try to build the entire car from scratch when you've never done it before? Ask somebody, get around people that are doing it, and then you will, have an easier time. It makes it more enjoyable, but it's also going to get you to that end result, because if all you feel is frustration, you'll eventually, not guaranteed, but most people would eventually give up. So by finding a mentor, you're going to be raising your chances of success. And then they say, just to kind of leave it on that note, is there's 3 people they say that you always should make sure that you have in your life. So you need a mentor, and a mentor is somebody usually older than you, but that's already had the results that you're looking to get. So you need somebody like that in your life. you also need to have somebody that's at your level so you guys can exchange ideas and really be going through it at the same time. So that's kind of that coaching idea, that you're finding and you're connecting with like-minded people. You're all going in the same direction. And then the final piece of the puzzle is to find that apprentice or somebody that you can mentor to. The idea, of teaching what you know reinforces it within you, but it's also sharing the success and not having this, lack mentality where, I don't want to help out, this, young kid because eventually they're going to grow up and create a better business that's going to, totally wipe off mine. Unfortunately, that's the mentality that we had in my first business, with birthday parties with animals. We looked at, our direct competition fiercely. And oh my goodness, every party that they got was money out of our pocket, is the mentality that we had with that. And that's not a healthy mentality to be in. You're always worried about money, always, always, always. And you can't appreciate the success that's coming in because you're just, I think we lost that party to that person. And that's where our focus was. Instead of being grateful and accepting for the money that came in and having this abundance sharing mentality, it's good for your business and it's good for you. So by getting an apprentice, that also helps to reinforce the fact that you are helping somebody to achieve results in their life, getting this selfless aspect of you, and also, letting go of that lack mentality. Oh my goodness, I'm helping somebody else that could become my competition. And I love playing like the game Cash Flow, and we play it every week. Gil runs a club, I run a club, I go to other clubs, and playing that game, when you're talking about the investing world, is so awesome because you learn to start collaborating with people. So that can be like your peer group, and I've met most of my peer group at these Cash Flow games. And I've met mentors at these games. So you find the, seasoned type investors that you learn from. The cool thing there is you actually get to play with your mentors. And I was playing with one of my mentors a few weeks ago, and he introduced me to a completely new strategy, and now I'm practicing that. And that's the idea. And then you also find the people, and kind of bringing in cash flow in that sense, is that you're always partnering with people, and you want the success of other people. And it's a non-competition, which is interesting because usually in the world of money, everything is competitive. But when you want to be successful, you cannot have that competitive mentality. You need to have, a cooperative, embracive mentality, and that's how you will be getting success in your business. And we'll leave it there. And then tomorrow we're going to put it all together and get into that bigger picture.
Awesome. A couple of things I wanted to, touch on, and I mean, Lauren opened the session with recapping some of the stuff we reviewed, and we really do some of the stuff that we talk about, right? One of which is the goal setting one. I just pulled out some old journals and notebooks, and I don't know if you guys will be able to read the dates, but this goes as far back as September 2005.
Wow.
On some stuff that I was writing down journal-wise, or, those are my goals right there, right? Those are like the top 10, 11 things.
Can you read them, Gil? Or if you want to, because we can't quite read them.
Yeah, well, the 2005 version of me, it's really interesting. Like, on the top of the list, it says climb Mount Everest. Haven't quite done that yet. There's stuff on here. See the world. Be the best brother, love my family, build a church, orphanage. So, old stuff that obviously as you fast forward, you kind of better shape your goals. You kind of get to know what you want and be a little bit more specific with the stuff. So, I have Get Ripped on here, right? Really want to get really healthy at the time. This is like, again, way back when. Wanted to qualify for the Olympics team, and was, back then I was actually... training and hoping to make it land a spot on the shooting team, and back in 2007, that's when I got my shot to try out for the shooting team, right? So I mean, the whole goal setting stuff, I don't know, it really works, so definitely do write that stuff down. We still have some time here on the session, so I wanted to check in with some new faces on here. Sayaka, good to see you on the session. How are things going? How's the business? And any inquiries or interest about, updating the business model or building out an income producing blog or a website, or maybe you were looking at different ways to grow the business or add new components to it. Just wanted to touch base. Haven't seen you on here in a while, and if that's a conversation you would like to have here with us. Show my screen. Okay, so we're sharing my screen here. You guys should see it in a second. Gil had to reset. I know it's not your site, but they must have done it to receive. Any idea what I can do? Yes, I do. They are using it for two things. Some of the real estate investors, eventually they kind of want to go and become a guru or a consultant, right? And so part of that is list building. So they use this to build their list, build their subscribers. For example, Lauren is going in the direction, she is in the real estate niche. So she documents what she does in real estate. She's been building a following and an audience for people interested in real estate. And eventually you can turn that into a monthly membership, an affiliate list where you can recommend quality products and marketing services. I've used the internet marketing training here in this session to find leads and deals, because somebody types in, learn how to wholesale. They find one of our videos, or learn to talk to sellers on YouTube. They see our training videos, and so they get started watching all those different how-to videos in real estate. And the very first person that they call is myself, my office. They reach me on Facebook. They say, hey, there's a vacant abandoned house, or there's a seller that I had talked to. What do I do? So they start bringing us all these other opportunities and deals that we spend $0 on marketing. This is all their sweat equity. This is all their marketing dollars that brings us these opportunities. Like I've mentioned before, we did an extra. It's on the Bird Dog network, or building a Bird Dog network, or local property finder list, and I think we did a little over 8 deals, all stuff that they brought to us, right? So that's how I would use it. So you either want to become a guru, consultant, an affiliate marketer that promotes quality and products, and that's how you generate your money, or if you want to bring in new leads and deals that are off market, then you need to build that audience of people in your areas, even if you're doing them virtually, right? I don't have my tax return here, but I had a tax return for a market in the Midwest, and that was like an extra $20,000, I think. And that's just from a small market that I was placing ads on Craigslist, sharing my videos on Facebook and YouTube, and people started bringing us deals, and we can do it virtually. Roy, type in your email address that you use to register inside of the network, and I'll go ahead and submit that, dig that up, get everything reopened. Cool? So just type in your username and password, right? Lauren, I sent you a message on Facebook for that 90-day outcome template. And then I'm just waiting to hear back from Frank, because he's got...
Oh, I was so lost on what you were referring to.
Gotcha.
I saw it pop up.
So we'll do that. In the meantime, you don't have to panic, Roy. You can still mail. You can still send out stuff. It's not a... and until you crack a certain threshold in commissions anyway, the account's going to stay on there. So it's not going to prevent you from your daily activities. So just a heads up. Roy says, cool. Yeah?
Oh, I wanted to ask you, Gil, I just got off of a fantastic webinar, and wanted to talk to you further about seeing if you're interested in a course that's coming up from one of our mentors. So I wanted to see.
Sweet. So it's definitely we'll talk about that one offline, and then figure out some good options. Did you mean I use it to bring both seller and buyer leads? Yes. You can use it for 2 purposes. You can make online commissions from offering affiliate products. That's one income generating activity. from this internet marketing session, the stuff we talk about here, and the programs that we actually use and implement, or two, it's so that you can generate seller leads and generate buyer leads. So just to summarize that. Tomato, tomato, right? Exactly. It just depends on what terms you use, and some people understand it a certain way using particular language. Lauren, while I have you on the session, I was going to walk you through or get some get some internet marketing leads uploaded to your list. You good to go for that?
Sure.
Okay. So, go ahead and open your Get Response. No, hold on one second. And all right, cool. So before we jump into that, let me just go ahead and wrap up the recording so we can I can close that one up. It looks like it's starting to.
And by the way, I just discovered that because I had recorded a webinar this morning and didn't want the audio, and then that setting did not get updated on this recording. So all of my audio did not come through on this webinar. So can I get a copy of yours?
Yeah, definitely. So let me just close out the recording here on the GoToWebinar. Once again, thanks for hanging out here with us. We're going to continue the session, but I just want to wrap up the official recording here. We're going to troubleshoot a couple of accounts. But otherwise, thank you again. If you're not already subscribed to our list, there's going to be a giant red subscribe button on the YouTube channel that you're watching. Please do subscribe. Give us some feedback. Let you know what you like, you don't like. And let's meet up, whether locally or one of our live hangouts that we do here daily, Monday through Fridays at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you're watching this on a website or a blog, there's going to be a subscribe button where you can jump in and opt in our list, stay on top of the latest updates, new stuff we're working on, daily reporting on how we're doing in our businesses, and success stories, challenges, all that good stuff, right? So with that, I'll catch you on the next live session, okay?